And let's see, how do we start? I think that's how you hit start. Hey, I think I'm hitting start. Okay, cool. Walking through the garage. There's the ugly garage door that needs to be repainted. And then I'll slowly walk over through here, and I'll pan down. And here's one of my tool bags that I got last year that just is way too heavy to carry. But boy, it's really handy, though, to throw in the truck. Then we go over here, and we got all kinds of piles of scrap wood and junk. And then an old light I built. Man, I've had that thing since Lake Company Irrigation. And the roll-around chop saw, you remember that rig. And then there's the table saw behind it. And then I'll pan back here because the screen's always so big. So I got that steel table I've had forever, too. And an old Harbor Freight drill press. It's okay. It weighs a ton, though. I got to find a way to get it lower somehow in here and rearrange this part of the wall into more useful space. I did about 2 weeks or 3 weekends ago. I had 2 of these big cabinets. This one's been cut all up and changed, obviously, because now there's my old Bosch chop saw sitting in it. And I had 3 of those, one there, one here, and then one about there. And it was just taking up so much floor space that I just said, you know what? One day I looked around and I have this built-in cabinet against the back wall. And I thought all the shelving above it was not being used. So I cut my big cabinets in half, 2 of them anyway, and put half up there and half up there. And then the other 2 halves, I put them up there so I could store more junk up there. And it gave me a lot more floor space. Right now I have so much junk in here I don't have any floor space at all. But I got the old boob tube in here and an old beat up DVD player. So I don't have TV, but I can watch movies while I'm working or something. And back there's the old job box I used to drag around. Big old monster steel box to carry tools around when I worked for Western Pneumatics. And oh yeah, there's the jig that I copied off of Izzy Swan. It's smaller than his, but I got a fancier handle than he does. So I yet to run some wood through it on the saw. I got to find the right kind of wood to play with it. I didn't want to just run a 2x4 through it and whatnot. So, and then there's this big pile of wood that I got from my neighbor. And this is the same kind of wood that, I'll get closer, and they call that pecker maple. And actually, in that stack, I'll come around here and show you, I have a lot of it. And most of it's 8 foot, and some of it's even 10 foot long. And there's oak in there, and I think I even have some cherry down in there somewhere stacked below. That if I could just get access to a board planer, you know, a deck type planer, this wood has been run through a planer and it has been lightly sanded, but it still needs to be like finished. This is the same stuff, or actually I should say this is more the stuff that I used to make that bar top and the lower shelf for Trino's bar. And it's, you know, 1 inch. The stuff I did on Trino's was 1 inch. I think this is closer to 7/8, a little fat on 7/8. But it's just incredibly nice wood, and it's, you know, just kind of waiting for me to figure out something to do with. Like I said, I got to hit up a buddy of mine one of these days and haul all that over to his house and run it through the planer, and then I can actually build something with it. I'm going to go back over here to this goofy little chop saw stand, and sawdust all over the ground, sawdust all over it. I cut up a whole bunch of wood out here, so it's a mess, but so I kind of cut away the arms a little bit. Too much junk in the way, but down here you can see this little wood thing. And guess what? It was made out of those door panels. Go figure. It's maple and cherry. But right here, it's got a pivot set up. And then underneath it, tucked in behind it, is a lever system made out of wood. So I have a 2.5 foot shelf on that side that flips up. And then I have another one on that side. Of course, there's all this junk in the way, but anyway. So when I want to use it anyway. Still need to find places better to put all this stuff. Good God, there's too much junk. But it's kind of coming along. What else? You know, I got my little baby chop saw. I bought that one last winter when me and Mark were doing the King Estates administration building. Well, my electrical bag for doing that kind of junk. Let's see what else is laying around here. Okay, well, there's a big pile of wood underneath the other pile of wood, and that is what's left of Chico's deck. I de-nailed and de-screwed it, everything over there, and cut it into 4-foot chunks and hauled it home and hacked it up on the chop saw and threw it in the fireplace, eventually. Actually, it's enough kindling to last a lifetime is what it really is, but... Oh, what else? The little baby compressor. Just stuff. There's some jig stuff up there on the shelf. I don't know if you can get a very good view of it, but that's a wood slide, or a sled, ever how they like to call it, that you lay on your table saw. You can see the little grooves that set into the table. That way you can horizontally cut other nice fine wood and set up a jig so you can do same cuts over and over. And then up there is one really big deep pile of all the maple and cherry that was left over from all those door panels. I got lots and lots of that left over. Oh, I don't know, let's see. And then the bike, yay! Which I roll outside and throw a cover on every time I do anything in here, because even with the cover on it in the garage, it seems to still get really dusty, so I just roll it outside. I don't know, tools, chair. And of course, the sawhorses. And I still didn't quite build them right. What I should have done is have the top part right here stick out about that far, another 3-4 inches. And then cut a U underneath that. That way you can get a clamp on the end. So when you clamp something on the end of the bench, you actually have something underneath the clamp too. So yeah, I'll have to take a hole saw to the end of it maybe, or a jigsaw or whatever, and do a little cut like that. That way, if I want to put something on the end, I can clamp it to the darn sawhorse. Most of the other wood jigs and stuff I do have, I have them set up to where I just screw them into the top. That way they're just stable wherever I want to put them. And then the rest of the garage, you know, you got washer, dryer, hot water heater, blah, 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 junk. Thought about putting the old drill press on that little cabinet over there and put up a little sidewall, and that cabinet's about 3 or 4 inches lower than the steel table, so that would help a little bit on working, but it kind of isolates it though. So if I wanted to put something long, I'd have to angle it out the door or something on the stand, but I don't know, maybe something different. I still might just turn around and build something for it to be right over here, which is not far away from the garage door. So if I had something really long, I can always put a stand up and I can work on the drill press inside while the wood sticks outside. That's about it. Anyway, it's getting a little bit better. I don't know if I can take a shot of this. Here's that solar thing that I worked on last week. And I just did it with everything that I had laying around, including the cans of paint. So I don't know how we're going to do this. Anyway, I'll go like this. You can see one of the rows of cans haven't been painted all the way, but that's no big deal. I can get to it. And what you do is you drill holes in all the cans, and then you laminate them together so they're sealed. And then all the air comes in that hole. And in this little trough, you end up enclosing it, and then all the air will go up through the holes of the cans and go all the way to the other end and come out the other end. And of course, cover that up so it's enclosed, so you have a sealed air compartment, and then the air goes back out the other hole. And then you hang this baby out there on a wall where it's going to get good sun. And you put, like I said before, a little computer fan on it, or whatever you can come up with. A lot of people are using the little computer fans because they're easy or cheap to get a hold of, and most of them are 12 volt. DC, so all you got to do is have a little miniature solar panel. You can buy them at Harbor Freight that'll do the job. And that runs the air for free. And you just turn around and put it up on the outside of a wall, like maybe that wall right there on the back side of the house, which faces dead south. And you got to build a stand and a rack for it, and then sealed pipe and whatnot. But with a good thermocouple set up and the fan set up, you just sits there and runs automatically all on its own. And it'd be really nice out here because, you know, the way I get warm on those 20-degree days is to run that beast and then throw a fan over in the corner shooting up on the ceiling. That way it circulates the air well. And it works, but it'd be, you know, obviously cheaper to use the sun instead to warm up the shop. Other than that, that's just about all there is right there. So, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll send this off as soon as I can, Dad. Thanks. Love you. Bye.